Today on Let's Talk About Games.
If I was even paler than I already was, that's how I'd equate this Mexican food.
That's an MSX.
So yes, I am lucky enough to now have a shirtless picture of Justin Trudeau. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Games. I'm James.
And I'm Jacob.
Today we have a bit of a, would you say it's a pretty Kino episode lined up?
I'd say it's a pretty Kino episode.
Today we're at Mystic Market, which is a very mystical market where apparently they have Mexican food, and we're going to see if it's any good. But we recently went to Tsukino Con, which is a convention that I've never been to before, and that I didn't even know was happening until about a week beforehand. Even if it's an anime convention, I'm sure they have games, right?
I was in the same boat, yeah. I was hoping for games.
So we were both going into this with open minds, not sure what to expect. But oddly, I don't think there's anything particular I was looking for. What about you?
Not really, no.
So we get in, and we don't know what to do. Honestly, it's spread out across the entire campus here.
Yeah.
It's in a bunch of different buildings. And the first one we go into, funny enough, has a bunch of game consoles set up. Jacob, what you playing?
Metal Gear Solid 5.
And how is it?
Well, it's still the intro.
But you enjoying it?
I mean, I've played it before. You know, you don't really get much control in this part of the game.
I know, but are you enjoying watching it?
Yeah, dude, and I'm enjoying listening to David Bowie, too.
Yeah, no, they had like a lot of like Wii's and GameCubes in one room, I think.
So we sit down and try to play some Street Fighter, and that unfortunately didn't work out.
That's okay, because I would have kicked your ass.
So we go into the next room, and they have more retro consoles set up. And we see...
An MSX2.
Yo.
Dude! Yes!
Is that an MS?
That's an MSX!
It was an interesting console. I thought it would be bigger, from what I've heard about MSX2s, but it was like, would you say it's like the size of
Commodore 64?
Yeah, it's not too much bigger than a 64.
I've never actually seen one, and you know, I've been told
Castlevania, too.
that's Castlevania, that's Akamajo Dracula MSX. Dude, I have never seen one of these in my nearly a decade of collecting. Konami defined the MSX. They had Castlevania, they had Metal Gear, they had SD Snatcher. So this, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if it's a port of the original.
Looks like Castlevania.
It is Castlevania, but
Okay.
so up is John.
I wonder if they've got Metal Gear.
It's on a flash cart, so they might.
Oh shit, dude, I'd be down to play the original Metal Gear.
Unfortunately, it wasn't for sale, and actually when I asked the guy there, he said he wasn't even sure if people were supposed to be allowed to play on it. Is it alright to play that?
Oh,
The MSX thing?
yeah, I just need your badge.
This Mexican food is so white.
It needs to be softer.
There's no spiciness whatsoever. Like, if I was even paler than I already was, that's how I'd equate this Mexican food. I'd concur.
What goes down?
Down is, well, down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn. We asked if we can play more games, but they said you have to register first. We hadn't even registered to go in yet, but that's okay. So we go to register, and we came about 2 hours early. Apparently they weren't opening to, what was it, like 3 on that first day?
Yeah, something like that.
So we kind of call it night and go back for a few hours. So it's later in the day. In fact, it's in the evening. Earlier, Jacob had to leave for work, and I decided to just go and take a nap. And now it's about 6 in the evening, and all the shops are open. They aren't setting up anymore. Now I can buy some stuff, and maybe go back and play more Castlevania. So we finally go back after a few hours, and we realized something we hadn't before about the vendor hall. It's 2 stories.
Make it out of leather imported from Italy. It's organically produced and naturally made. And all of the metal components are made in North America. So they're made in as ethical a manner we can find. And it's all stuff that'll last a very long time.
Oh, you realize that. See, I wasn't there with you. I think that was the first weekend I got kind of sick.
Does that mean I spent most of this episode just alone?
Yeah. I think I was there for the gaming place.
So I realize that this place is 2 stories, and I go downstairs and I run into Nick from Epic Games.
But like I thought it was just gonna be the plushes, but then you brought games too.
Yeah,
So
a bit. Didn't go overboard with them, but I kind of cherry picked our selection a bit.
yeah,
And got a few key titles I thought would mix well here. But games were never popular for us last year, so
Yeah.
I'm just testing them out again with a bit of a bigger selection this year. And if they don't sell well, I probably won't bring games next year.
They have crap tons of plushies. They have games. And one of the first games that catches my eye, once again, is Final Fantasy VII, the NES version.
Wait, Final Fantasy VII? I didn't know they ever released Final Fantasy VII on Nintendo consoles.
They didn't. It was a Chinese bootleg. However, a bunch of American hackers and whatnot found it years later, and they fixed all the glitches in the Chinese version and then translated it into English. I noticed 2 other games I want, both on the PS3. Those are White Knight Chronicles and Afro Samurai. So I'm deciding between these 2 games, and ultimately, White Knight Chronicles catches my eye a bit more.
It's been a long time. You know, you start feeling.
you know what? White Knight's cheap. I'm gonna get White Knight.
This girl comes in, right? And she's like, guys, I think I've made a questionable purchase. We're all there, we're like, what is it? I think Nick knew her, but I was intrigued. I was like, what's this poster? And then I see it, and I knew I couldn't live without it. So I've just found a kick-ass Justin Trudeau poster. So yes, I am lucky enough to now have a shirtless picture of Justin Trudeau. But there's something nagging me in the back of my mind. Afro Samurai. That seems so absurd on so many levels. Samurais didn't have afros. People in the 60s and 70s had afros. What is this? So I went to do some investigative work.
That anime with
Afro
Samuel
Samurai?
Samuel Jackson in it.
Samuel Jackson's in an anime?
Yeah. It's imagine Samurai Jack and Samurai Champloo combined into like an ultra-violent American anime, and that's what it was.
And that's Afro Samurai. But is the game any good?
I don't know. It probably. I'd imagine it's probably as good as any anime tie-in video game.
Which is it
widely,
ranges?
Yeah, wildly varied. I've never played it and I've never seen gameplay of it, but I'd imagine that's the kind of deal that you get with it.
Would you say it'd be worth $15?
It might be interesting, yeah. I'd say. I mean, if you have the means, I'd say it might be an interesting pickup.
So the next morning passes, and I call up this guy. And you were sick.
I'm starting to get my throat infection a little bit.
He nearly died.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I later on past that, I definitely almost died.
So once again, alone, around midday, I finally set off back to the con. Now I know they had panels and stuff, but I wasn't there for the panels. I was there for the games. Because I'm a
You
gamer.
weren't there for, what was it, like, the bingo with the, it was like kawaii anime.
Oh wait, they had hentai bingo?
No, it's not hentai, it was like, there's another name for it.
Why did I miss out on this? Well, why don't I go think about it over some Mario Kart? Screw it, I'm not going to keep putting this off. I'm going to go and buy this game. What do you know it? He has it.
How much was it, sorry?
15. Not a bad deal, especially since it has the slipcover.
I love it when games have slipcovers.
I was expecting this to be some sort of big build-up or whatnot. No, it's like, alright, I'm going to have this game down and whatnot. But honestly, I just didn't feel like it. Like, he had a really good price on it, I thought. I am now the proud owner of Afro Samurai for the PlayStation 3.
Have you had to play it yet?
No, I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I love that feeling. You're like, oh, I just bought this game. I'm so excited, and then you like don't play it for like 4 weeks.
So, all in all, I'd say this has been a pretty good convention weekend. I know I only went 2 of the 3 days, but hey, that's alright. But yeah, I had a good time. Even if it wasn't the biggest con, it was still fun. So with that story out of the way, let's rate this meal. How would you rate it? From the Mystic Market.
Whatever this
drink was. I've never seen them before, but that was pretty good. But I feel like there was too much refried beans.
Too much refried beans?
Yeah.
Were the refried beans good?
They were okay. They were a little bit bland for refried beans. I like a little bit more like punch. Yeah.
I had my soft tacos, right? It was soft something. I come from Texas. I'm used to Texas Mexican food, and this just, unfortunately, it was definitely food, but I'm not sure if it was Mexican food.
No, not like Tex-Mex.
No, not even
but like,
Tex-Mex.
No, I meant like Tex-Mex, like Old El Paso Tex-Mex mix.
With that, thank you very much for watching. If you're so inclined, remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We're on Twitter. You know the drill. Anything else I'm forgetting?
AOL.
And with that, we will see you next time.
The best Metal Gear game in terms of just like pure experience, looking back on it, is probably Metal Gear Solid. This is a hard one. 3 overall, because it's got like a really, it plays fantastically. It's got a really imaginative art style. It's got a really fascinating story. And I think it just really encapsulates what the whole series is going for in terms of its themes and messages about, you know, war and respecting veterans and stuff like that. But the worst game is probably Metal Gear Acid, because who the f wants to play a card game of Metal Gear? Like, that's pretty... I vengefully hate pachinko.